Good morning, Yalla. In the name of our High Priest and Malak, Yahushai, in the presence of the Blessed Ruach, upon whom we are waiting for the final outpouring. We come to be an encouragement to our brethren at this stage of the battle. Yes, the battle continues, but we are nearing home, Yasha Allah. So we come to encourage you anyhow. We want to discuss with you, Yasha Allah, for your strengthening, the understanding of why our names were stolen. Nay, why our names were obliterated. No, why our names were replaced. No, why were we given names of the slaves, of the slavers? Did you know that? We were given names of the slavers? Well, let's talk about it a little bit. Our opening text is from Genesis chapter 15, verses 11 through 14. Genesis 15, 11 through 14. All right, let's read it together then. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abraham drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham. And lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. All right, here we have another reading of the 400 years enslavement prediction in the scriptures, which I suppose that if this prophecy could have been unpeeled, as we have unpeeled it several times already, open it up by the power of the Ruach to throw some light into these verses and blow them up and show what was actually, or what is actually hidden, concealed in the verses. I think if Esau knew that these verses were so explicit, he would have taken these verses out of the scriptures also. But we are so appreciative of our King, Mashiach. and the blessing of the Father, Yahweh, that these voices were allowed to remain here so that we can examine them and see for ourselves some matters that Esau was in. If he had known, I am certain if he had known, I guess the father would have had to send some some special officers to prevent him from trying to take these verses out. See, because in these verses, those few verses that we read opens up the whole panorama of the French Revolution. Yeah, right in these verses, we see the French Revolution, how it happened and why it happened. And we see the uh, the agreement that the um, the, the the priests, the two priests, the Jesuit priests, Esau's Jesuit priests, and the fallen Levitical priests. We see the agreement that they made as Levi, the Haitians were preparing for the 400-year enslavement of the house of Yehoiada. Of course, their brother Simeon uh, came in with them and started the enslavement of well, Judah in particular, but of course, the northern tribes of Ephraim uh, came to be a part of the exercise that Esau conducted towards the whole house of Yashar'Allah. But I say Levi and Simeon, they were the precursors of the 400 years enslavement. They pulled it out of their heart. It wasn't pulled out of Esau's heart. Esau already had everybody enslaved. And, I feel pretty certain that he would have been searching his heart and the mind of Satan, to try and get more leverage on the enslavement processes that were brewing in their hearts, to know how much or how severe, how much more severe they could make the enslavement of the 12 tribes be. But it was Levi, the former priest of the Most High, and of the 12 tribes, Levi, aided by his brother Simeon, that gave rise to 400-year enslavement. How many times should I say it so that you can really think about it for real? It was Levi and Simeon that gave the understanding for the enslavement process. They etched it in stone. Levi, who today is people. I don't know what name to call them at the moment, but you have seen, history has already shown the weight of the whip of the Most High Yahweh, yea, of the Mashiach upon them, that uh, America is putting the whip on them for more than one reason. And I, I might not go into those reasons, plural, to show what's going on with them. That's coming out of the prophecy that we're reading. Um, but of course, we learn from the prophecy, from this very prophecy that we're reading, that the Jesuit priests and the Levitical priests, the Haitian priesthood, came together and decided. Well, they had to decide upon Levi's order. Levi was in charge, and you know, he was working on behalf of his boss, Esau, Amalek, Shekhabata, and providing knowledge, providing a way of enslavement and brutality upon the tribes of the Most High's love. Mm-hmm. Tribes that the Mashiach would give his life for, that Levi would in time to come. Since this was, well, in fact, this was sometime after the crucifixion, actually, because this was in the 1700s. That's a little bit after the oh, I'm so excited. I think I'm getting mixed up. In any case, the 400 years enslavement actually followed the French Revolution. That's a better way to put it. I think that is exactly the way to put it. The 400 years enslavement followed after the French Revolution, so-called, that Haiti made a determination to quell the or to stave off the revolution by instituting enslavement of the tribes. That's how the matter was uh, absolved, maybe, but that is how the matter was quieted. The, the economic crisis that was in France in the late 1700s was ameliorated by Haiti giving the insight and being the people of the priesthood still having some leverage on the house of Judah, Yahweh, determined to enslave them to make economic easement for France. There you have it. All right. What I'm showing you is that all of that is encapsulated in this 400 years prophetic acknowledgement unto Abraham from the Most High Yahweh. You see. And so I merely put out the thought that had Esau been able to unscramble the prophecy, the prophetic, and see all that information in there, he might have hidden this prophecy too from being written in the scripture, as he has hidden so much. You know, he excised texts, passages from out of the scriptures to hide stuff. But the Most High had this 400 years of enslavement wrapped so tightly that Israel read over it. Like other prophecies, he has come up to the same problem where he couldn't see what the prophecy was saying, what those prophecies were saying, actually. So he left them, and now when we bring them out, when the Ruach of the Most High allow us to unfold them, to peel them back, as the books have been opened according to the book of Revelation, as the books have been opened, we are afforded the privilege to go in and see what is written there that Esau could not see, even though he had these books hidden away in the vaults and private areas of the Vatican. Oh, yeah. And so within the whole enslavement process or processes between the Jesuits, Esau's filthy from Amalek, the Amalekian priesthood of yes, Amalek indeed, Amalek priesthood of what was his name? What's the name they gave themselves? It keeps on coming in. Johnson, the nasty, filthy name of Johnson on Amalek that he put on our people. And why did he? Why were they? Why were they interested in taking away our names? For the same simple reason was that they wanted to take away our names so that they could proclaim us to not be the people of the book, and they give us the filthy names full of hogwash, hog stench in their names. They put those on us. Can you imagine so many people in the Bahamas today are burdened? I mean, they're carrying like 500-pound weight of stench and the filthy names of Amalek and Esau on them, on us. These names have weighed us down. The nastiness and the filthiness in these names have affected us so much. And you should hear them talking about what they want us to pay them to have their stinking name to be stopped from being called on us. These names are stench, stink, increasingly stink. We don't want to hear them, but they gave us these names to excise our name so that they could claim the land, our homeland, as their heritage. This was the reasoning behind the changing of the names. This is the nastiness of Amalek, tribe of Esau. Only filth, only garbage and stench, stinkness. Now you know why they changed the names. Because they were changing your name to put their filthy name on you. They couldn't bear, well, they couldn't bear their own name, whereas they made changes from their original name. For instance, Amalek. They changed that to Johnson, if you understand what I'm saying. But the filth of it, that they put it on us, and the atmosphere of the filthiness of their thoughts and the actions, all those things were weighing us down in trespasses and sins, that the blood of our Mashiach had to be applied and still must be applied to wash away the filth. And so we only wanted to share with you the depth of prophecy that, according to Acts chapter 2, I believe, it says, if the princes of this world knew what they were, exactly what they were doing, they wouldn't have slain the Mashiach. But their pride and arrogance blinded them. So they did what they did. And now the world is on the countdown to face the one that they were so anxious and edgy to crucify and hide in the tomb in Jerusalem, and his own property. It's so laughable. They want to kill the man on his own property. And when he woke up 3 days later, they tried to get up and leave the scene, but they couldn't. They fell like dead men. Go back in what they call the fourth gospel and read. When they saw those Malachims from the esteem of the Father, they fell like dead men. This is what happened to Esau and his sons, his people, his helps. They felt like dead men by the sight of the Malachim and the Mashiach rising up. And they still had the nerves to go and build up their Nicene Creed, because they were on the way to changing our names, to put the burden, the weight of the stench of their names on us, while they were stealing, while they were take our names from us and put their names on us. Weight, the weight of stinkness that they did, because they wanted our names to say that we now had become them and they had become us. The nastiness of Esau that we have had to put up with. But it's over now. We're coming to the end, Yasha Allah. Like it or like it not, our Mashiach is in charge and large. He arose a victor from the dark domains, and he lives forever over Yasha Allah to reign over all the earth and the heavens. Hallelujah. So let it be.